wanted to let you know that by registering for this event, you have entered into a drawing. We have books. Imagine that, books. And we will be drawing at the end of the week. And so every event you attend, you get another entry. We had Res Dog books, we've got the dancers, and we've got a whole bunch of multicultural coloring books and activity books. So I want to make sure that you enter early and often in that. So also don't forget to sign up to pledge to read books this week. That gives you another chance to earn free books or get in the drawing for free books. So and then we have some other events coming up this week. On Thursday, tomorrow night, we have the First Nations Children's Literature Night with the students from the First Nations literature class on campus. And they'll be reading and talking about books that they've selected and have been working on this semester. So that will be exciting. A little bit of history about our read-in. Like I said, this is the 9th annual. We have had such a tremendous following over the years. This is our first time virtual, but in 2011, we started this. We were part of the Wisconsin State Reading Association read-in. It was a challenge to libraries and colleges and schools throughout Wisconsin to spend 3 days reading as many books as they can. And they focused the attention on Native American authors, especially Wisconsin Native American authors and illustrators. And so we thought at UW Superior, well, let's get in on this. And so we did. And we brought in a whole bunch of books from the library, from culturally diverse perspectives, and mostly from Native American perspective. And we had been developing a Native American literature collection within our department. We brought all those in. We brought some cookies and some milk in, and people came and they read. And that first year, we had, I think altogether in 3 days, we had somewhere between 175 and 200 books read, which surprised us that that many people came. And then each year, word got out, it's the read-in. We extended it to a week, and we had people coming into Swenson Hall from all over the campus and the community to munch on snacks and drink nice beverages and read great literature from diverse perspectives. And so we're really excited that this year, in spite of COVID, we're here. And thanks to the great work of Caitlin Bauman, Chantal Nagard, and Cassie Brown, and our guests this week, Thomas Peacock and Heather Brink, Mike Ronio here tonight, and who am I forgetting from last night? I can't remember. Anyway, we've had a great week here. So thank you for being here. And at this point, I'd like to introduce Mike Ronio, who is a favorite person on campus, and he's got lots of talents. And little did I know when we started talking about this, I wanted to feature a particular story that's been told by many authors. And that is the story of Sadako, and a hero in Japan for surviving the bombings in Hiroshima as a 2-year-old, but then developing leukemia later in her life. And Michael tell us her story and tell you why paper cranes are associated with Sadako. So I will let you get started on that. Thank you so much.
Great. All right. Well, yeah. So thank you for letting me do this tonight. It's definitely something that I really keep close to my heart. So a little bit about me. I do work at UWS. I'm an academic advisor. I'm also an alumni. So I graduated in 2006 from UWS and didn't know what I was going to do with myself. So I decided I was going to move to Japan for a year to teach English. A wonderful experience in many different ways, but one of the greatest things was the ability to go to some of these places that I learned about while being a student. So spent some time in Hiroshima and Nagasaki to learn about the atomic bombs and the effects that it had. So I have a PowerPoint first, and then what we'll do is we'll come back to this. I'll try, it's my first time teaching paper cranes virtually. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because it is a little bit hard to do for your first time. Don't worry about it. My plan was we're going to do it once. We'll go through it and then we'll do it again. Hopefully by the end of that, you'll have a paper crane that looks like a paper crane. So I'm going to try to do this and see if I can share my screen. For how much time I spend on Zoom, I feel like I should be a expert by now, but okay. So yeah, so this presentation is called Learning Peace Through Paper Cranes. So yeah, like I said, I spent the year 2006, 2007 in Japan. This is me in Hiroshima. So a little background, historical background. The end of World War II, on August 6th, 1945, America dropped its first atomic bomb on Hiroshima. And on August 9th, 1945, it dropped its second atomic bomb on Nagasaki, ending the war. But it also caused a lot of pain, a lot of destruction. In those two cities, over 100,000 people lost their lives instantaneously, and many more struggled. As the person that we're going to learn about tonight, she survived, but many still, either perished later or felt health problems, lost family members, whatnot. So yes, it was a very, very, very terrible thing that has happened for humanity. Behind me in this picture is something famous. So years before, Hiroshima hosted some type of like world event. So it was like kind of like a World's Fair that America had early, in the 1900s. And that was the main spot for it. They've left this up as like a monument to the destruction that has happened. I also went to Nagasaki with that, and I know we're going to talk about paper cranes. As a teacher in Japan, I got to talk a lot about America. So they wanted to know about American music, American culture. My job was to teach them English and those things. But I thought it was great also to bring that back to America. So one thing I did was I paired up with my aunt, who was a elementary school teacher in Rochester, Minnesota. So every month I taught something about Japan. So one month I went to sumo. Everybody knows sumo, and I taught about sumo. So on the month that I went to Hiroshima, I didn't really know how to teach children about the things that I saw. And then I learned about the paper cranes. So I learned about Sadako, who we're going to hear her story. And that's what I taught. So I taught that to them. My first trip there was in February, and I taught them about that. And then in 3 months, my aunt made a trip to Japan, and she brought along 1,000 paper cranes that her school made, and we brought it to the atomic bomb museum in Nagasaki. So you'll see the photos after the fact of what I'm talking about of the paper cranes, but it was a very, very moving experience to be able to do that and to help teach and promote peace through that. This photo means a lot to me. Right there, it says the ground level at the time of the bombing. So basically, the ground was moved so deep that it was knocked down 5 feet in this area. That it was at my shoulder height at the time, and that's how much destruction this bomb caused on folks that were just normal folks like you and me, going to work, maybe going to school, whatever it was. So it was definitely a moving experience. So here, this YouTube video is the story of Sadako. So like Mary said, Sadako was a young girl that grew up in Hiroshima. You're going to learn a little bit about her. We're going to learn about the importance of the paper cranes in Japanese culture. And then we're going to try to make a few. So give me a second and let's hope this works. Okay. And can you see this? Okay.
Mike, it's on the side, so it's not in the
What's that?
main. The movie.
Oh,
is
it's
on the
not.
side.
It's not sharing.
It's, I can see it on the side. It's not the main clip.
Okay, so let me try to share this. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not able to hear it though.
Ah. Okay. So does anyone know how to fix?
I believe, Mike, when you go to share your screen, there should be a like a checkbox
Okay.
right before you share that says share audio to.
All right, let's give that a shot. Thank you. Stop share. Again, why we should be, share computer. Okay. And I apologize for.
The story of
Can we hear it now?
Sadako's 1,000 paper cranes. In an effort to end World War II, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan on August 6, 1945. A young girl in Hiroshima, Japan, named Sadako Sasaki, was 2 years old when the atomic bomb was dropped. She survived the initial blast and grew up as a happy child who loved to run and play with her friends in elementary school. When Sadako was 11 years old, she started to feel weak and tired all of the time. In February of 1955, she was admitted to the Atomic Bomb Survivors Hospital in Hiroshima. Sadako had developed leukemia from her exposure to radiation from the atomic bomb. Students from a girls' school in Nagoya, Japan, sent origami cranes to the hospital to help the patients feel better. Some of these cranes were given to Sadako. Sadako's father sat beside her and said, when you fold 1,000 paper cranes, your wish will come true. Sadako began folding 1,000 paper cranes using the wrapping paper from gifts she received from friends. She would put the paper underneath her mattress to flatten out the wrinkles. When she ran out of paper, she also used the wrappers from medicine bottles. Some of the special red cranes she folded were made from the wrappers of a new medicine that was donated by an American company. Even though Sadako folded more than 1,000 paper cranes, she could not overcome her disease. She died of leukemia on October 22, 1955. A funeral was held a few days later, but the family was poor and did not have enough money for a tomb. After the funeral, many of Sadako's friends decided to help raise money for a memorial in Sadako's memory. Several days after the funeral, Sadako's friends heard that the conference of high school principals was being held in Hiroshima. Sadako's friends worked hard to print out a leaflet to distribute at the meeting. They hoped that the principals could help them raise money for Sadako's memorial. For 2.5 years, Sadako's classmates worked hard on a fundraising campaign to raise money and support to build a memorial in honor of Sadako and all of the children who died from the atomic bombings. On May 5, 1958, the Children's Peace Monument was unveiled in the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park. The statue of the young girl holding up the crane is now viewed around the world as a symbol of peace. Since 1958, many people from around the world, including thousands of student groups, have visited the Children's Peace Monument. Visitors have witnessed the annual release of doves to commemorate the anniversary of the atomic bombing. Many others have folded and sent strings of origami cranes to Hiroshima as a symbol of peace. In the early 2000s, Sadako Sasaki's older brother, Masahiro Sasaki, decided to donate 5 of Sadako's original origami cranes to 5 continents. He hoped that Sadako's kokoro, or spirit, could be shared with others. After the tragic events of September 11th, the Japan Society of New York invited Masahiro to New York City. He chose to place one of Sadako's most precious origami cranes at the Tribute World Trade Center Visitor Center at Ground Zero because of the devastating event that occurred there. The origami crane is a symbol of the Sasaki family's hopes for compassion and peace, and, importantly, a lasting symbol of Sadako's life. Sadako folded origami cranes to keep her spirit and hopes alive. Today, Sadako's cranes have inspired a small ripple of hope for peace that has grown and spread around the world. If you enjoyed this read aloud,
Okay, so we have one more video that I'm going to show. No, this is the wrong one. We're just getting through a commercial.
There is an interesting way to getting your wish granted, but it isn't as easy as just wishing on a shooting star. It is a task that requires patience, dedication, and a lot of paper. In Japan, crane is considered as a mystical animal that is believed to live for 1,000 years. Because of this, it became a symbol of good luck and a long life. Anyone who follows 1,000 paper crane will be granted a wish. Sadako Sasaki was 2 years old when the world's first atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Over the course of the next 10 years, Sadako developed leukemia. While hospitalized, Sadako began to make paper crane. She wrote, 私はあなたのツバメの上に平和を描きます。そしてあなたが世界中を飛ぶだろう。The disease claimed her life at the age 12. Sadako's story, however, remained very much alive. On August 6, we celebrate Sadako Peace Day to pay tribute to victims of the 1945 atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and reflect on the past and build a future free of nuclear weapons.
Okay. Okay, so a little bit more slideshow, and then we will get to this. So I did want to show, so this is what the Sadako Children's Peace Monument looks like. And that is her on the top holding the peace crane. And then there's a bell that you could ring while you pray or think or reflect for peace. And it's obviously a paper crane. And then here's some photos of what the 1,000 paper cranes look like. So all of these have been sent from other places around the world. This was photos that I took while I was there. Also, people made like poster-sized things that said peace or other things. One really cool thing about it was, my question was, what do you do with all this paper? You know, there's hundreds of these sent there all the time. So what they do is they actually recycle it and they make notebooks. So you can buy notebooks of peace cranes. I have a few still that I keep. But yes, so this is what the 1,000 paper cranes hanging looks like. One other thing I wanted to show is this is an actual paper crane created by Sadako. This one's located in Hawaii. At the end, I did put some sites that you can go to read a little bit more if you're interested. This one is at the memorial for the USS Arizona. That was it was sunk during Pearl Harbor. So it was brought there as a, like a peace between America and Japan, like a reconciliation, maybe learn from our past so that we don't do these things again. All right, so here's the instructions of what we're going to do today. This isn't very, very helpful. It is, but I wanted to put this in there because I am going to share this with everybody if they're interested at the end. But this is what the instructions look like if you're trying to do it out of a book. What we're going to do is we're going to walk through it together. But I did want to show there are things like this if you did want to practice. One thing to think about while we do this is it takes a lot of practice to make these. Even when I make them now, they're not perfect. I like to say that all of my cranes have character because they're not uniform. The Japanese are very, in their culture, they want, everything is very orderly, but that's not my style. So no matter what your crane looks like today, it's your crane. I just think that the way of doing it, definitely it's a good way to think, to reflect, to really each fold is a thing that you could think about the world, about yourself, and definitely it's a very therapeutic thing. So I hope that after today, if you can continue to use origami in that way. I put this in there. This is an instruction step by step. Like I said, I'm going to share this. So, and then these would be the things. These would be some stories about the gift to the 9/11 museum, the instructions, the USS Arizona Memorial, and then the last one is something that really take advantage of if you're interested in this. It's the Hiroshima Museum website, and they have a virtual tour, which is great. When I got to take the tour there personally, one thing that was really cool was I got to see Sadako's cranes. And they were anything from the size that we're going to make today to the size of a pea. So she made them out of anything she could find. There wasn't a lot of paper at that point in time. Japan was still rebuilding. Going through a lot of those pains. So yeah, anything she could get, like they said, her medical bottles. But yeah, so it was very interesting to see paper cranes this big when you realize how hard it is to make one this big. So, is everyone ready to go? Are you ready to go? We're going to make some paper cranes. All right. Does everyone have a square piece of paper? Perfect. All right. So the first thing that we do is we're going to make some folds to get ready. Because if we make the folds first, then when we start, putting it together, it'll be a lot easier. So this is where I'm going to go from here to here a lot, just because it's easy. It's a lot easier to watch while you're doing it. You want to do it on a surface like your table. I'm going to do it in the air because I'm trying to show. But then when it takes to go to the table, I will then put it down. So the first one is we're going to fold it into 4. So half. And then we're going to do it again. Fold it in half again the other way. So then you're going to have 4 little squares. Next, we're going to fold it in half the other way to make the triangles. So we want the big triangles, 2 big triangles, and then you're going to do it the other way. Okay, so now you have your square, and now it's like a square pizza. You have all your pizza slices. So now this is where it gets to be a little bit more difficult, I guess. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pizza slice, and we're going to have one corner pointing at us, right? We're going to take the corner on your right and bring it down to the corner here. So we have, and now the paper's in half. What we're going to do though is then we're going to fold this fold that's pointing at us over to do that. So does everybody see that fold? We're going from there, pointing at us, fold, bringing it to the corner. Are we all good so far? So again, we have the half. We're taking the middle crease and bringing it over to this corner. And then we're open. Good? All right. So then we take it and we're going to do the same thing. So this open piece here needs to come down to this point. So then we're taking it, we're doing the same thing with the other side. And when we're done, we have the small square. The inside looks like this. But we now have the small square with our colors, if you have color. How are we doing? Good? Okay. All right, so now here's when it gets to be fun. So now what we're gonna do is we want this square to turn in to a badge, or as some would say, maybe a Superman. You want to take this corner and fold it to the middle. What I like to say is you're going to do this with all four of the pieces. And at the end of it, it should look like a kite. So yep, corners to the middles to skinny up that square into now a kite. So yep, we went from here, folded all the corners in, the four of them, to kite. Everybody good, or anyone have any questions? Stuck? I'm going too fast, let me know. Okay, are we good? I see Logan still working. We'll give him a second. Awesome. Okay, I see one. Good, everybody? Okay, so this one gets a little bit difficult. So now we're going to take our kite, and on one side, we're going to open these up. So, all right, so let's see if this works. If you can see this. Okay, so I'm going to open these up. I'm going to fold this up. So I took my kite, one side. I opened up the one side, so it's still a kite on the back. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up so it's a mouth. See the mouth? So then what we're going to do with the mouth is we're going to fold in on those creases that we made to the middle. So sometimes it takes a little bit. You gotta work it a little bit in there to do that. So that's where we're at on one side of it. Does everybody see that? So to show you, we were at the kite. The reason we made the kite because we need those creases. So then we open that up to the mouth. And then instead of the big mouth, now we fold that side in to the middle. What we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And after that fold, what you now have is the big diamond. We still have to do it on the other side, but right now we have the big diamond. How's everybody doing? That one's the tough ones. Once we get by this one, so I'll show you again on this side. So this is what the kite, where we're at with the kite. You unfold, and then you go to the mouth. So we have the mouth open. So we need the sides of the mouth to come to the middle. So this side comes in. I've never did this upside down. So this way, and you bring them in. Then and like I said, this one will be our practice. Excuse me. And then our second one will be the one that hopefully we'll get to make to look like a paper crane. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? If you do, oh wait, there are some chats here. Okay. How are we doing? Is anyone have any questions? Is anyone behind? I can go backwards. Shoot me, unmute, let me know.
As you can see, I'm doing pretty poorly, but I don't really know where to go from here. Maybe I'm starting to feel like I did this wrong in the kite setup or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the kite looks like that, although I don't know for sure if that's the...
Yeah, that looks right. So on the bottom of the kite, does it open? Is that the opening where you can like unfold it? The bottom. Yep.
That okay, and then how do I make
no, and then the bottom. So can you pull up the point, the bottom point? Nope.
This thing?
Ooh, yeah. You missed the last one, but we'll get you on the second.
All right.
No worries. How's everybody else doing? Good.
I have to admit, I'm not very good at looking at things from the opposite angles. So I'm having trouble. I'm also a little bit well, I'm dyslexic, so I have trouble with left and right. So
Sure.
I'm just watching you do it right now just to kind of figure
Okay,
out how
I
it
mean,
works.
with-
And I might get there, but I might not, but I'm having fun just watching how you're doing this.
Okay, and that might be something too with this, just to, that actually might have been good to make one first and then walk through it with everybody. But no, so I'm sure you're doing fine. Like I thought, that's why I thought doing this twice would be good. And then, like I said, there are some pretty detailed instructions in there that you can go through after the fact. Okay.
Yeah, totally. So for me, I'm just having fun watching you do it because it's just so amazing how it all comes together.
Sure. Okay, and what's nice is it's recorded, so everybody can listen to my voice over and over again if they really would like to. So we'll keep on going. So right now you have your diamond and you have your two legs on the bottom. So the top shouldn't have any legs. The bottom has two legs. What we're going to do with those two legs is we're going to make them skinny. So to do that, you just fold them into the center. So you do that for all four of the areas. So there's two on each side. All right. So now with those, now you have that diamond again, but now the legs are a little bit skinnier. So now this is what this looks like. And now it's the fun part. Okay. So next step, for sake of time, and then we'll do it again. What you would do then is you take your legs, and now we're going to look at it this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold each side in half. So you fold each side in half to make bunny ears. Now you have this. So what we did there is we took our diamond with the skinny legs, we spun it around, we opened them up to make the bunny ears. The next step would then be to take the two sides and fold them up into the bunny ears. So fold up, fold up. So now this is what we're looking at. We're looking at your sides are folded up into the ears. And then the next step is to then spin it again and fold these in. So now fold the sides over again. And now you have what you can tell look like wings. Okay, so again, we went from here up, and then we fold it over on those. So now you have two sides. You have and two areas sticking out. So on that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fold one of them down like that. That is your beak. And then you get to do the most fun part of it. And you take them and you pull the wings, and there is your paper crane.
So it's like magic, you're saying.
Yes. The first, so I had probably like a first grade class teach me how to do this. And they made fun of me for probably 4 months because it, mine did not look like this when I was finished, and theirs were perfect. So yes, it is kind of like magic. One other thing to show you on the bottom, there's a little hole. So if you want to puff it up, you can always blow on it, put more air in it, and then it makes your paper crane stand. All right. So I'm just curious, how is everybody doing so far? Does anyone want to show how they did so far, or should we start a new one? And yes, when we're back on campus, anytime, lunch break, coffee time, I'm more than happy to meet in a space and show you how to do this. Probably a little bit easier than Zoom, but I also think even if they don't turn out, just the idea of working with the paper, I'm thinking about its importance and reflecting on, you know, the need for peace is important in itself. So even if we don't make cranes beautiful today, almost. All right. So does everybody have another piece of paper? We're going to do it one more time. All right. Okay, so square piece. Is everybody ready with their square piece? Okay. First one, fold it in half. So now you went from square to rectangle. We're going to do it again. Unfold, and then do it the other way. So then we'll have 4 little squares on our paper, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Next, we're going to fold the corners in to make those big triangles. So there's one, unfold, and do it again the other way. Okay. So now you should have 8 small triangles, 2 in each little square. Okay? All right. So next, we need to go from this square to the little square. So now we got to get it to basically into a 4th. So what we're going to do is we have our square. We're gonna have it so it's facing us like a diamond. So you want the corner facing you. You're gonna take one side and take that corner down to the bottom. like you're going to make a rectangle, okay? But instead of making a rectangle, on this crease right here, you're going to fold over. Did we all see that? So if we're at this point right here with the half sheet down, we're going to want to take this over to this spot. So what you should be looking at is this open piece of paper. On this side, you took the corner into there. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. So we want this corner, this open corner here, down to the corner on the bottom. And then the crease right here, we're going to fold over like we did on the other side. What that should give you is this small square. Oh, yep. So Logan, you're right. You just have it upside down now. It should be pointing your way. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So on the top here, it's closed. On the bottom, open. So then you take that open and that's directed towards you again. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold the corners in to the middle. Each individual, there should be 4 corners because there's 2 on each side. And you're going to make the kite. So one side should look like this. What you did is you just took that corner into the middle. And then you flip it over to the other side. That's still the square. And you fold those into the middle again. To get the kite. Hey, Mary has it. Perfect. Okay. Looks like Logan's almost there. Caitlin has it. That's good. Okay, cool. All right. So now here's another tricky one. To make it easier, I like to do this. I didn't do it last time, but just fold this one over just to make a crease there. So we're still, here we are. Okay, so this one's a little tricky and we'll go a little bit slow. So now I'm going to take my kite and I'm going to open it up because we don't need the kite, but we need those folds. That's why we did that. And we're going to fold it up into this mouth. So it looks like a frog's mouth. So we unfolded. We unfolded the kite, and then we started to open it up for the frog's mouth. How's everybody doing with that? Good? Okay, awesome. All right, So what we do with the frog's mouth is now we need to take these corners and we need to bring them to the middle. So you take this corner to the middle and then you fold it up like that. So this is what it looked like. We took the corner to the middle and we creased it. And then if you do the other side, what you should have right now is the tall, thin diamond on that side. Awesome. Yeah, this one's a tricky one. Do it a few thousand times and then it works. All right, Logan, let me see where you're at. Okay, so you're at the diamond. All right. All right. So then do the same on this side. So again, to show you how to do this, when you're at the kite, you open up the kite to get back to the square. But then you open up the mouth to get to the frog's mouth. Once we're there, we take the corners in to the middle. And now what you should have is a full, tall triangle. And on one side, you should have 2 legs. And on the top, no legs. Shouldn't move. So you got 2 legs on the bottom. Perfect. Looks great. All right. So now what we do is these legs need to get slimmed up a bit. So what we're going to do is like the 4 like we did last time. So each corner, bring it into the middle. We're going to make the legs a little bit thinner. All 4 of the sides. And now you should still have your 2 legs. Now they're skinny. And your top should still not be able to move. It should still be the top of the diamond. We're almost there. All right, so we all have our legs on the bottom. Perfect. All right, cool. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to spin it to the side. You're going to want to hold in the legs so they still stay skinny, but then we're going to fold them in half. And what you want after that are the 2 bunny ears. So then what you have is this here. So you have the bunny ears on top. On the bottom, you have the 2 legs, but they're then folded. How are we doing on that one? Do you want to see that again? So this is where we were. You just want to rotate that in your hands. Open them up to this. All right. We're good. Woo, we're almost there. All right, great. So now what you want to do is you want to fold up each side into the ear. Right? So you have your ear. You want to fold that up in there. You want to flip it around. You want to fold that one in there as well. Okay, so this is what we should be looking at. You took your leg, yep, into there. So this piece, we then spin again and do what we did the last time. So fold the middle, the piece that's in the middle, you want to fold that in half on both sides. So then you have this. So one side is your tail and one side is your beak. So whatever side you choose to be your beak, you're going to want to fold down to make it look like the head. And once we get everybody to that point, then we're going to do the fun part. Awesome. So now what you get to do is you get to turn it. You grab the two, now that you know they're wings. You pull them and push up a little bit. And there is your paper crane.
Michael, I am at, oh gosh, where am I?
So
I had I thought I had it and I didn't. Where am I? I don't even know how to explain where I am.
yep, so I think where I think you're at is this piece right here. So if you see mine, if you turn it.
Okay.
Okay, so now do you have one side that's like a beak? No, so the two sides that are on the, so right now this is what you're looking at on my end, right here.
Okay.
So those two sides are your wings. So you
Okay.
pull those out.
Maybe ruins.
Yep. Pull those.
Those.
And then what you can do then is once you get to this piece, so once you have it like this, then you can always just make one of them into your beak and one into your. Yay, there he has it. I think, so yeah, where you have your beak now, the other two you should be able to just pull out. And pull up, when you pull out, kind of raise it a little bit on the bottom like this. Yep. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So that is how you make a paper crane. So does anyone have any questions? I know we're running a little low on time. Before we're done, thank you for putting yourself through this. This is definitely a very challenging thing to do over Zoom. But yes.
I can't believe it.
Huh?
I can't believe it sort of looks like one.
Yes. The more you do them and the more times you go through the steps, the better you get. It gets to be easier. Some of those middle steps where you do the frog mouth, I mean, it took me several times to do this. I just, knowing that I was going to make thousands of these. I figured it out, but I'm impressed with everybody
Well, 1,000 cranes begins with,
with one.
I wanted to thank you, Mike, because I didn't successfully make a paper crane, but this taught me something about an experience that I had as a kid where we actually had a Japanese student the same age as me when I was a kid come and stay with us during the summer, and she gave me a paper crane necklace. And now I realize, just looking at this, like how important that actually was. That was something that I didn't really know much about, but now this is helping me to understand what that symbolized, and also just how much work it is to actually create something like that. So that you just made me think of something that I had really taken for granted and didn't know much about, and it's really important.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's very interesting because Japanese folks make origami a lot of things. So like students for their erasers and their pencils, they'll make like a little basket origami, or like people will make frogs or whatever it is. I'm gonna tell you the truth. This is the only thing I can do, but it's meant so much because of the work we do. I mean, I think we're all we work for a better world, I guess, in education or whatever else you do. I really, when I start doing this, I did it as like a cultural thing. I wanted to learn it. I wanted to teach it. But yes, I will say, when I have trouble, when I'm anxious or sad, this helps. There's a poem that just came to me. I wish I would have thought about it before, but it talks about the folding, and each one, it's very spiritual. There's something with each fold. It means something. With each fold, with each paper cut, with each frustration, you still go through it because you hope for whatever that 1,000 cranes is your wish. And I think that's why it's I find myself just doing it randomly every once in a while, just because it's so good to remember that. I think of all the things we have going on in our world now, a pandemic, and America is a place that is hurting right now. And I think anything we can do to just be mindful of the end goal is always a special thing. And if it's as easy as just making one of these things, I guess it's at least it's comforting for all of us. So I really appreciate everyone coming to learn about this. Like I said, anytime anyone wants to do this or they want to talk about this, I'm more than happy to do it.
thank you so much for a great evening.
Thanks for doing this, Michael.
And
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. And
read books.
I can't wait. Oh, on that note too, if people want to learn more about Hiroshima or the peace movement, I have more books than I know what to do with. So they're in my office at UWS at the moment, but I'm more than happy to loan. There are some very good documentaries about it. I'm happy to get those resources to anyone that would like to see them. So thank you. And I hope to see everybody sooner than later on campus.
Absolutely. Thank you.